is that so coefficient of friction is high in the dry single plate clutches. Okay, so next one is that so difference. So here the space compared to the spaces multi-plate clutches has a low space. So next I'm going to talk about the cone clutches. So in and then so in cone clutches, so the contacting here, this is for the driver, this is for the driven, this is for the inner core and outer core, this is the lining. So it may be contact with the some angular way. So simply you can say this is for the alpha, and whenever solve the problem derivation, I want to consider the angle of contact. That is for the only one different. Apart from that, everything same in the single plate clutch. Okay, so here I want to consider alpha, that is for the angle. So I want to, so if alpha means I want to solve horizontal vertical component for whenever solving the load. So this is for the W, axial and normal load. Okay, so next I'm going to, this is the way. So 6 is the driver, and this is for the actuating phases. This is for the driven side and the spring and the friction line 3. So the male, this is for the male part, this is for the male part, and this is for the female part. This is the very simplest thing. So from the diagram we can easily understand the so working principle. Whenever apply, so the it may becomes a disengage, so that time we can change the gear like that. This is for the working principle. So next advantages. So now here only one thing. So normal force acting on the friction surface is greater than the axial force because of the friction lining contact with some angle. Okay, and also this disadvantage very important. Even a little amount of wear on the conical surface, even little amount of wear in the conical surface, so our male part will be moved. So our male part will be moved so considerably. That is the very important thing. Little amount of wear, the considerable amount of movement of male cone in axial direction. This is very important thing. It will be affect our the whole calculation. So we want to consider some factors. This is the that is very important thing for the disadvantages. So next, this is for that survey. So this is for the make of the vehicle. So this is for the clutch used. So where in the many of the cases we have used for single tri-plate clutches. Some of the cases, you know, you can easily understand if you take that scooter, motorbike, we have a less space. Wherever the less spaces, we can easily place our multi-plate clutch. See the Royal Enfield, we have used for the multi-plate clutch. So we have the wet and dry. Wet means so we want to reduce the heat because of number of surfaces are very high. Okay, this is for the survey. So from that you can easily understand where we are using single plate and multi-plate clutches. Okay, so next I am going to talk about our clutch calculation and derivation. Okay, so now first I'm going to consider the first one is that, so I'm going to consider the first thing. So single plate clutch. So I'm going to solve some how the formula obtained from the derivation. Okay, see, so observe keenly, very easy and funny thing here. Definitely you can understand very much. So I'm going to take, this is my the whole arrangement. This is for the plate and surfaces 1 and 2. Okay, the inner I'm going to take for the R2. Okay, inner radius R2, outer radius R1. So this is for our applied force. W is the our applied force. R1, R2 and W. This is for the pressure intensity. Okay, whenever apply the forces, it may be engaged with the flywheel, so it may be created the friction, the pressure intensity. And also you should remember one important thing, the pressure intensity will be higher in the inside. Okay, here we have applied in the inside, the pressure intensity will be higher in inside, the pressure intensity will be lower in the outside, R1 side. Okay, R2 side will be higher, R1 side will be lower. You should remember. I will explain with the wonderful slides. Okay, so here I'm going to take one small, for calculation I'm going to take one smallest portion. The portion is there R1. This is for the smallest thing, the dr. Okay, so this is for my I'm going to take for calculation, just I take smallest ring. So area equal to, I'm going to take for the circumference area. So we know that circumference of pi d or so the 2 pi r. Okay, so I'm going to take for the 2 pi r, the smallest distance dr. The finally area will be the r means meter, dr meter square. The area of the ring will be the meter square. Okay, so 2 pi r dr. This is for my area of the ring. Okay, next I'm going to consider for my applied load. We know the load equal to pressure into area. Pressure P into area 2 pi r dr. Okay, so this is for the pressure into area, our force. Okay, so whenever apply the forces, definitely created some frictional. So I'm going to consider the frictional effect here. So force is equal to mu into our del W. This is for the axial load. So mu into P into 2 pi r dr. So finally, so this is our force. Okay, so here it will be rotate. So against the coefficient of friction, it will be created the torque. So torque equal to, we know that simple concept, force into distance. So force means our force mu into P into 2 into pi into r dr. So force into distance, that is for the r, mean radius r. So r into r square. So torque will be mu into P into 2 pi r into r square dr. I am going to take torque for the whole surface. So I am going to integrate. So from R2 to R2 means inside, R2 to R1. So this is for our, so torque value mu 2 pi r square dr. So finally I'm going to get the shown value. Okay, this is for our torque equation. I can solve in two ways. One is the condition for uniform pressure. So next one is a uniform wear condition. Okay, this is very simplest way. Uniform wear condition is the old theory. Okay, when if the question they have mentioned whether, if you have mentioned uniform pressure theory means you can use simply uniform pressure theory. If question they have mentioned anything means you can simply use uniform wear condition. Uniform wear condition is the old theory. Uniform pressure theory is the, so that is the new theory. Okay, so depends upon the question, you can choose anyone. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the uniform pressure theory. So we know that the simple thing, force equal to load by area. Load means W, area means I'm going to consider for the here this is for the hollow. I'm going to take pi r1 square minus r2 square. This is our, so pressure equal to force by area. We know the torque value. So here I'm going to apply the pressure value. So R1, R2, I'm going to apply. So mu here, so 2 pi mu. I'm going to integrate the R and the variable dr. So you will be get the, so r square means you will be get the r cube. I'm going to substitute R1, R2. So finally you will be get the some value for, so in terms of R1 cube minus R2 cube by 3. Okay. So next, so instead of P pressure, I'm going to substitute force by area. So W by R1 square minus R2 square. So here, so next, so here next I'm going to take it away 3 common. So this is for the 2 by 3 mu W, R1 cube minus R2 cube divided by R1 square minus R2 square. This is the way we got torque formula for uniform pressure condition. So now I'm going to simplify, I can say very simple way. So I can explain, this is the simple thing. So on it here, so I can write it as, so here torque equal to, I can write it as, so torque equal to N mu W R. R means this is for the, so our mean radius. Okay, N means number of pair of contact surface. Don't worry, I will explain one by one in the, so later slides. You don't worry. So here mu is the mu W, N I will be consider later. Instead of R, we can write 2 by 3. Instead of R, we can write 2 by 3 into R1 cube minus R2 cube divided by R1 square minus R2 square. Okay, this is the way you should remember whenever consider the uniform pressure theory. R equal to 2 by 3 into R1 cube minus R2 cube divided by R1 square minus R2 square is the mean radius formula. Okay, next I'm going to talk about, so next thing, so that is for the uniform wear condition. In GATE exam point of view as well as the technical knowledge, you should understand one thing very, very important. Wear rate is directly proportional to pressure. If you increase the pressure, the wear rate will be increased. If wear rate will be increased, the pressure will be increased. That is the relation, very, 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 very important. Okay, and also one important thing you should remember, this is that very important thing, the pressure is inversely proportional to radius, mean radius. Okay, so P equal to, so we have to remember the proportional. So P equal to C by R. You should remember that is for the pressure is so inversely proportional to R. So okay, you should remember that thing. So I'm going to solve one derivation. So next, so force equal to pressure into area. So I'm going to put that value. So tell W equal to instead of pressure, so we can substitute instead of pressure we can substitute C by R. Okay, so C by R 2 per dr. So RR will be cancelled. So this is for the load. I'm going to consider for the whole area from the R2 to R1. Just you can understand R2 to R1 means from R2 to R1, the whole surface. Okay, so R2 to R1. So finally we will be get that something 2 by C. So here, so dr means R. So R1 minus R2. This is your C. Okay, this is the constant value. So pressure is inversely proportional to R. This is the constant. The constant value will be arise W by 2 into pi R1 minus R2. Okay. So first we know the torque equation from here. So torque equation, I'm going to substitute my pressure value C by R everything. So finally, I will be here, I'm going to apply P. So P equal to C by R. So R will be cancelled. So instead of C, I'm going to substitute the entire fifth equation. So finally, I will be get one equation. Nu W R1 minus R2. R means, so that is for the R square by 2. So instead of R, I'm going to substitute R1, R2. R1 square minus R2 square by 2. You should understand here, this is the A square minus B square. So we can write it as A plus B, A minus B. So these two terms will be cancelled. So finally, you will be get mu W by 2 R1 plus R2. Again, you should remember the technical concept. So whenever consider, so uniform wear theory, whenever consider the uniform wear theory, R means that is for the mean radius. Instead of R, we can write R1 plus R2 by 2. Okay, so here you can take it as N as the number of pair of contact, number of pair of surface of contact. You can take it as anything. Okay, this is the very important thing you should remember for solving problems. Okay, next I'm going to talk about further things regarding the derivation. So I want to share these things are very important. Okay, so the many of the students confused about this portion. So total number of plates is equal to number of pair of contact surface plus 1. So how it will be arise? So I will explain so one by one. Okay, so here I'm going to consider these things. So here, if you consider this is for the multi-plate clutch, this is for the single plate clutch. Okay, so you can say I'm going to take this is for the driven plate, or otherwise I'm going to driving plate. This is for the driven plate. So here driving plates are 4 plus and the driven plates are 3. So total plates are 7. Okay, so total number of plates simply we can understand from the diagram 7. Okay, from the diagram, so we can easily understand this is the 7. So see how it arrive. So I'm going to explain what is the number of plates, what is the number of pair of contact surfaces. Okay, so see what is the number of pair of contact surfaces. So here this is the one plate, second plate. So here this is for the one of the contact zone. This is the one of the contact zone. This is the second contact zone. This is the third contact zone. This is the fourth contact zone. This is the fifth contact zone. This is for the sixth contact zone. So contact zones are only 6, but number of plates are 4 plus 3. So number of plates are 4 plus 3, that is for the 7. 4 plus 3, 7. So now you can easily understand what is the difference between 7 and 6. So from that only the formula arrives. So total number of plate is equal to total number of contact surfaces. Number of contact surfaces plus 1. So here number of contact surfaces 6 plus 1 7, that is for your number of plates. This is for the very simplest thing. You don't confuse about the technical concept. So in GATE exam point of view also, so that frequently asked in the 1 mark question. Okay, so if we consider single plate class, so number of contact surfaces, this is for the one of the contact surface, this is the second contact surface, you can simply take it as n equal to 2. So this is the very simple concept. So and also very technical thing, you don't confuse. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about that formulas to be used for solving problems. So we can solve 4 more problem. The 4 more problem definitely useful for getting good marks your Anna University point of view. Okay, so after completing your technical aspects, you should remember formulas. Okay, so without formulas definitely you can solve the problem. So I'm sharing my knowledge to technical, I mean Anna University point of view as well as the GATE aspirants. So GATE exam, you don't want you don't want to remember anything about derivation technical. You should remember the formula. Then only you can reduce your time and as well as you can solve your problem the effective way. Okay, so I'm going to give some formulas. That formula is very useful for solving the problems. Okay, the first one is that just we have derived one derivation. From the derivation only I have obtained everything. Okay, just I have explained one by one. Torque equal to n into mu into w into r. Okay, so already we have discussed in the derivation part. So torque, T means torque, Newton, so Newton meter. Okay, so I am just in my objective, I want to make you understand the concept. I'm not going to solve any problem, just to understand the concept. From the concept you can solve any type of problem in the clutches. Okay, so here, so mu n means number of pair of contact surface. Not n, you don't think this is number of plate. This is for the number of pair of contact, number of pair of contact surface, number of pair of contact surface, number of pair of contact surface. Okay, so number of pair of contact surface. W means that is for the axial load. R means that is for the mean radius. Just you can remember now. So mean radius means we can consider the two-way. One is the uniform pressure theory as well as the uniform wear theory. If you consider the uniform pressure theory, so you want to consider, I mean uniform wear theory, R equal to R1 plus R2 by 2. If you consider uniform pressure theory, you can consider 2 by 3 R1 cube minus R2 cube. You should remember the thing. Next, I already discussed the pressure. We know that. So pressure will be inversely proportional to radius. So P max equal to C by R2. So next C equal to P max into R2. The pressure intensity will be maximum in inside. That may be inside means you have to describe R2. Intensity of pressure will be minimum in the outside of the plate, that is for the R1. This is the very simplest thing. You don't forget these cases. Okay. Next I'm going to talk about the W axial load. So from the derivation, that is for the 2 pi c R1 minus R2. So and then very important formula, and everybody known that formula, P equal to 2 pi T by 60. So we can, after if you substitute the power in terms of watt, so you will be get the torque in terms of Newton meter, vice versa. Otherwise you have to substitute Newton meter, you will be get the power in the output. This is the important formula you should be remember. So technical as well the GATE exam point of view. Okay, so next, so on the two formula, average pressure. This is that simple. From the word itself, we can easily understand the concept. So average pressure equal to total force divided by cross-sectional area. That is for the average pressure. Total force means W. Cross-sectional area means we know pi r. That is for the hollow. Pi r square means hollow means pi r1 square minus r2 square. So next, so one thing, number of friction surface required. This is also very important thing, and also from the word itself, we can easily understand total torque required by torque required per surface. Okay, total torque required. Torque, otherwise, I can simply define with this. This is, for example, this is the multiply clutch. This is for the multiply clutch. Okay, I am going to find out the total torque required. This is for the torque. So this torque will be obtained from the power formula only. Is it? So then only you can find out the total torque required. Next, I am going to find out here. This is the contact surface. Okay. So I'm going to find out the torque required for per the contacting surfaces. One surfaces. This is for the one of the T. So okay. So this is the way I have explained the formula. Just you should remember this formula very easily. So number of friction surface required equal to total torque required divided by torque required per surface. This is the formula. Total number of plate means number of pair of contact surface plus 1. Okay. So next I'm going to discuss about the problems. So from the problem, this is that problem. From the word itself, we can solve the problem very easily and we can solve very quickly. Okay. So first problem. So this is the first problem. An automotive single plate clutch consists of two pair of contact surfaces. Two pair of contact surface means, so single plate clutch only the two surface. The two surface will be the pair of contact surface. It will be contact. So we can simply take it as n equal to 2. N equal to 2. This is the n equal to 2. Okay. So next I am going to talk about next 1 minute. Next so n equal to 2. Okay. So next the inner and outer radius of friction plate. So students, don't confuse. Inner means, so in the derivation aspect I have taken R2. Some of the book they have mentioned R1. You don't worry about anything, just you remember the concept. So inner R2, outer R1. Okay. So from that I have taken as 120 to 50 mm. So here mm I have converted into the meter. So 120 mm. So R2 inner means 0.12, R1 250.25. So the coefficient of friction 0.25, mu equal to 0.25. Axial force W equal to 15 into 10 power 3 Newton. So here to find is calculate the power transmitting capacity. We know simple formula power. So power equal to 2 pi nt by 60. We know the 2 pi 60 are the constant. So n is the RPM. Here 500 is the RPM. Power equal to, we know. So power is the, so here we have to find out the power. So torque means we want to find out the torque. Okay. So here only the unknown factor is the torque. If you find out the torque, definitely we can find out the power. Okay. So here whenever consider the torque, n mu WR is the basic formula. N mu WR. The R is the mean radius. So whenever consider about mean radius, the two things we need to discuss. One is the uniform pressure theory. Second one is the uniform wear theory. Okay. So now I'm going to consider first uniform wear theory. Uniform wear theory means that is for the old theory. So the students you should remember the question they have not mentioned means you can take it the old theory as the uniform wear theory. For it is very easy. Okay. So if they have mentioned new theory or pressure theory, you should remember uniform pressure theory. Okay. So technical aspect, nothing for this problem. So n is the, just a student, you should remember n is not number of plate, n is the number of pair of contact surface in single plate class. So one plate of the two surface, the two surface will be contact. So you can take it as n equal to 2, mu equal to 0.25, W we know that value. R1, R2 is the R1 is the outer radius. The student always confuse R1, R2 because of they have referred so many books. So in the different book they have mentioned R1, R2 as a different way. You can take it as the R2 as the inner. That is very comfortable for you all. Okay. So R1, R2 you can substitute. Finally, you will be get the torque value. You can substitute torque value in the power. So you can get the power as the somewhat watt. Finally, you can convert into the kilowatt. Okay. So here there you can't get the directly kilowatt. You will be getting watt. Whenever substitute torque in Newton meter, the power will be coming to watt. Okay. So finally, I have converted here in the kilowatt. Okay. Very basic thing. I have considered uniform wear theory to solve this problem. Okay. So next is the uniform pressure theory. So next is the uniform pressure theory. So next the uniform pressure theory means that here I'm going to consider mean radius R is the 2 by 3 R1 cube minus R2 cube divided by R1 square minus R2 square. Okay. So here n is the number of pair of contact surface. Okay. So mu equal to coefficient of friction. W means axial force. You can substitute simple. So finally you will be get the power. So just students, now you can understand those things. So compared to all other unit, technical as well as that, so shortcut way, the clutch topic is very easy. You can understand the technically very clear. Definitely it will be useful for GATE, ESE and your enrich your knowledge in the technical way. Okay, now I'm going to solve the second problem. So here, so this is also very simple thing, a single plate clutch. So if you read the single plate clutch, n equal to definitely 2. Okay, so power, if you see power and speed, definitely you can find out the torque transmitted in the plate. Power equal to 2.0 by 60. We know that n value and the power value, definitely we can find out the torque value. So next one is that, so from the relation, definitely you can find out your torque value. From that relation, definitely you can find out the torque value. Okay, so next time I'm going to consider torque value, so you can find out the torque value. Okay, so next the maximum pressure intensity between the plate is 85 kilonewton per meter square. Just you understand, maximum pressure intensity, I already defined, the maximum pressure will be attained in the inside. Okay, C equal to P max into R2. The pressure is applied in the inside, so definitely pressure intensity will be maximum in the inside. Okay, so we know that relation, pressure always inversely proportional to the radius. From the relation, definitely you can get the formula B max R2 into C. Okay, so next, so the ratio of radii means, so radii means the radius, that's all. So you will be get the higher value 1.25. So definitely if higher value means outside dia will be the higher. So the 1.25 explain R1 by R2. So 1.25 explain R1 by R2. Okay, because of there is a higher value, definitely the outside value will be higher, is it? Next, sorry, both the side of the plates are effective, so n equal to 2. Single plate plates means you can take n equal to 2, and the coefficient of friction is 0.25, that is the mu equal to 0.25. Determine inner diameter of the plate and the axial force. Okay, so here I'm going to find out the inner diameter and axial force. This is the very simplest thing. So we know that power and speed, definitely you can find out the torque value. So next I'm going to take C equal to P max. C means, so here, so the next one is the P max. We know that maximum intensity of pressure will be act on the inside. So P max R2C. Okay, here we know that, I mean 1.25 means R1 by R2. 1.21 means, so R1 by R2 equal to 1. R1 equal to 1.25. Okay, so 1.25. So we can write it as R1 equal to 1.25 R2. So C equal to, we know that value of P max 85. So the C will be, we will be getting in terms of R2. Okay, C will be in terms of R2. Next, we know that value of, so W. So here, so I can take it as W equal to 2 pi C. 2 pi C R1 minus R2. I can write it as R1 in terms of R2. R1 instead of R1, I can write it as 1.25 R2. So here the W will be in terms of R2. So next one is there. So R means, here I'm going to assume as, so uniform wear theory. So here also R1 I'm going to write it as in terms of R2. R value will be get it as R2. Finally I'm going to substitute here. So N equal to 2, mu equal to coefficient of friction, W equal to some value in terms of R2. So R equal to in terms of R2. Finally this relation, we know that torque value from this relation, you can find out R2 here. So if you have found R2, you can substitute the relation, you can find out the R1. If you found R1, R2, you can substitute here, you can find out your total axial force. Okay, so here I'm going to give some hint. So next, so this is for the answer. So in that problem I have explained with that, so clear explanation. From that power you can found the torque value. C equal to in terms of R2, W equal to, so in terms of R2. So here next, R uniform wear theory, because of here they have not mentioned any theory. Yeah, sorry. Here they have mentioned assume theory of uniform wear. If they have not mentioned, you can take it as assume uniform wear. Okay, if they have clearly mentioned uniform pressure, means you should use the new theory, that is for the uniform pressure theory. Okay, from that definitely you can understand R value here in terms of R2, I have substituted all the value. We know the torque already we have found from the relation power formula. So finally I got answer R2. I have substituted R2 in that R1 by R2 equal to 1.25. So definitely you will be get the answer R1. So this is the final R1 on the R2. So if you found R1, R2, finally you will be get the answer for the W value. Okay, this is the way we can explain simplest way. Okay, very simple. And the GATE exam also this type of problems they have asked frequently. Okay, just to understand the concept from the answer. So you should remember only that so 3, 6, 7 here that for 11 formula. The 11 formulas definitely useful for solving problem in any exam. Okay, in GATE exam you can get 2 to 3 marks very easily. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about third problem. So I'm going to find out pressure. Okay, so just you can read out this question 2 minutes. Definitely you will be get the idea. So I will give 1 minute for read this question. Definitely you will be get the idea. If you get the idea, just type comment in AYE. If you type AYE, definitely just I may understand. Just you are in clear way. So okay, I will explain. So determine the maximum and minimum and average pressure in a plate. So when the axial force is 5000 Newton. So here this is the force. Outer and inner diameter of the friction surface are 200 and 100 mm respectively. Assume uniform wear theory. So I'm going to find out maximum minimum pressure. Again, you should remember the maximum pressure will be obtained in the inside R2. So C equal to P max R2. Okay, so this is the data. Here we know. So we know only that. So W value and the next one is the inner and outer R1 R2 value. Okay, so here C equal to, so we know here, so we know that R2 value something of P max. Okay, so here I'm going to apply here, so it will be comes under the P max. So we know the W value, R1 R2 value, we can simply find out the P max value. Second thing, the same way I'm going to apply. So we know that R1 R2 value, we so here, so C equal to, we know that R1. So R1 means that is the outer radius. Outer means, so outer and inner. Outer is the 200 mm. That is for the 0.2 meter. So 0.2 P minimum. I can substitute the here. So I can find out the P minimum value. So this is the way you can find out P max as well as the P minimum. Average pressure. Average pressure means, so there is a very technical concept. Total normal force on contact surface divided by area. Okay, I mean pressure equal to force by area. That's all. So force equal to, so I'm going to take it as, so normal force, so W value, so divided by cross sectional area means this is the hollow. So by R1 square minus R2 square. Here total normal force contact surface is the 5000 Newton. Okay, 5000 Newton. Okay, so this is the simplest way. So you can easily understand. So maximum pressure means you know the relation. So in terms of P max, I got substitute the value here. So from that relation, you can find out the P max value. So here, this is the first thing. Second, minimum pressure, I'm going to use the pressure is always inversely proportional to the radius. So minimum pressure will be obtained into the outer radius. So definitely you can find out the P minimum by using the 2 pi c R1 minus R2 into P minimum. Okay. So average pressure means total force divided by cross section area. From that, so you can find out your average pressure. This is the very simple. So okay. So this type of problems are very important. Okay, so next, so I'm going to take the multiplied clutch. So multiplied clutch, so everything same, the concept formulas, everything same. So N is very important. Number of pair of contact surfaces. Okay, N is the number of pair of contact surfaces. You should remember the formula and the concept of this one. So if you understand this concept, definitely you may attended multiplied clutch. Okay, I will remember again. So here number of plate 1, 2, 3, 4 driving side, 1, 2, 3 driven side. So 4 plus 3 7 number of plate, but contact is here one contact. So this is the contact area 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just you should consolidate 7 and 6. So you will be get one formula, that is plate is equal to pair of contact surface plus 1, 7. The number of plates 7, contact surface 6. So how we can get 7 plus 1? So from that I can attain the formula. So okay, so now I'm going to discuss this fourth problem. Okay, so here number of friction surface record, so and number of plate. Okay, so here so we know that value, so radius, so in the radius you can substitute the axial force. So from that you can find out your so total value of W. So we know that formula N into mu into W R1 plus R2 by 2. Here N is equal to 1 because of, just you want to carefully understand this point, this is very important thing. So our formula is total torque required divided by torque required per surface. Torque required per surface means N equal to 1. That's why I have considered N is equal to 1. So 1 into mu into W. So here they have not mentioned, means you can take it as uniform wear theory. So finally you will be get so torque value. So this is for torque required per surface. If you need total torque required means power equal to 2 pi nt by 60. From the relation you can substitute power and so speed, definitely you will get the total torque. Total torque required by torque required by surface, you will be get the number of pair of contact surface. If you add 1, you will be get the number of plate. So again I will explain with the diagram. So just watch keenly. This is the only one thing for the confusing in the clutch topic. So I'm going to find out the total, torque. Total torque means P equal to 2 pi into 60. From that you can find out the total torque. Okay, if you find out the torque required per surface, in this surface only you have to take so mu W. So if you consider wear theory R1 plus R2 by 2, you can find out the torque value. Total torque divided by torque, you can find out the number of contact surface, or otherwise number of pair of contact surface. If you want find out your plate, number of pair of contact surface plus 1. This is the simplest way. If you understand, definitely the clutch topic will be nothing. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about the 12. The 12 will be the final value. This is the this type of problem will be comes in the EAC and the GATE exam 2-mark question. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about the multiplate clutch. So one more thing. So here see, so I'm going to talk about just I will give some little bit idea. So definitely will be solve the problem. So here, so three disc on the driving shaft, 2 on the driven shaft. So you can understand. So 3 plus 2, 3 plus 2, so equal to 6. This is your total number of plate. If you want to find out number of pair of contact surface, definitely 6 minus 1 equal to 5. This is for your total number of pair of contact surface. Whenever substitute n, you should substitute the value. Okay, sorry. So 3 plus 2, 5. So 5 minus 1, this is for the 4. So whenever substitute n means that is for the number of pair of contact surface, you should substitute n is the 4. Okay, so this is the simplest thing I want to share with you all. So next, so everything, so very simple. So definitely you can go through it. So here I have find n plus n1 n2. So driver. So 5 minus 1 n number of contact. Whenever substitute the n, you should substitute the n value. So apart from that, nothing here. So this is the one of the 8-mark in the Anna University exam. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about so one cone clutch problem. So whenever discuss about the cone clutch, so here the angle of contact alpha is very important. Okay, so torque equal to mu into WR. This is the normal force. So whenever consider the axial force, so I want to resolve the horizontal vertical component sin alpha and mu cos alpha. Just you should remember this concept. So here I have no time to explain that derivation and all, but so derivation aspect, single plate clutch and cone clutch, everything the same. You should consider the two components sin alpha and cos alpha. Otherwise, and also you should remember 1 by cos and 1 by sol. That is also very important. Okay, so from that you can easily solve the problem. So I will give some clue. From that here we know that power and speed. So diameter means here nothing for the uniform air pressure. If we, and also if we consider uniform air pressure theory, it has that one huge derivation. From that we can easily, so just to go through that derivation, definitely you can understand everything. Okay, so here the power, so I have find out the torque value. In the torque, so I have substitute here, this is the unknown value, this is the normal force. Just from that torque mu wr, I mean n mu wr, here there is only one surface, so mu wr. Okay, from that you can find out your normal load. Okay, so whenever find out the axial force, you should consider sine and cos component. From that you can consider for your engaging force. Okay, just you should remember your cone clutch. So I will explain with the concept. Definitely you can solve your problems. Okay, so here this is for the alpha, this is for our friction material driving driven. Okay, so here here our, so this is for that force required to engage. Okay, I have find out here we value. Okay, so here we value. So next, this is also one of that important question. This question asked in the previous university question. So, and also very important thing here, you want to understand only one geometrical aspect. The geometrical aspect means whenever take it as the sine alpha here. So this is, I'm going to take it as, consider as one, so triangle. So this is for that alpha is equal to alpha. So if you find out this value, so just to understand, this is for your R1 limit, this is for your R2 limit. So R1 minus R2, this is the your unknown value. This is for our unknown value. So unknown value means R1 minus R2. From that you can identify alpha. If you have to consider sine, here sine alpha, so sine alpha equal to, so you know sine alpha equal to opposite by hypotenuse. Opposite means R1 minus R2 divided by R1 minus R2 divided by, so your hypotenuse as B. Okay, so this is the geometrical rule you should remember for solving this type of problems. Okay, so this is very easiest thing you should remember. Okay, so just I have explained something. So you have, from that relation you can find out your, so R value. So okay, so next we know that the geometrical rule sine alpha equal to R1 minus R2 by B. R1 minus R2 by equal to, from that into B. So you can substitute the value. Finally you will be get the two relation, R1 minus R2 equal to one value, R1 plus R2 equal to one value. So you can solving these two equations, finally you will be get the R1 R2 is the final answer. This is the very important thing. Okay, so now so lastly I have only that 10 to 15 minutes. I will give some idea for gate. In gate point of view, so every time definitely we can score 1 to 2 mark. Okay, so they will be asked very simplest question. The if you are thorough in the concept, if you are thorough in the 11 formula, definitely you will be solve any problem in that gate exam. Okay, so the clutch is very easiest topic. So the gate aspirants, just you should thoroughly prepare your clutch topic. Okay, definitely you will be get the good marks. Okay, don't make any mistake in the clutch topic. So first question, just you should remember axial operation clock clutches having self-locking tooth profile. Just you should remember first clock clutches. Okay, so whenever engage, disengage, whenever running, so we can easily disengage. Okay, so just you understand the concept, axial operation clock clutches having self-locking tooth profile. So you should read this four thing. Can work only with load, can be engaged only when unloaded, can be disengaged only when unloaded, can be disengaged at any speed. Just you should remember the clock clutches. Okay, just you can remember your old arm coupling clock clutches. So whenever running, the if you move axially, definitely we can disengage, can be disengaged at any speed. This is for the answer. Just you should remember this is the answer. Okay, very easiest thing. So next I'm going to solve one more problem. A disc clutch is required to transmit 55 kilowatt 2000 rpm. This is one of the gate question. Just till now, I have saw only that 5 to 6 question. All the 6 questions are only the same type. You should remember the 11 formula and the technical concept. Definitely, you can solve any problem. So power equal to 55 and RPM equal to 2000. So we know the power and RPM. Definitely, you can find out the torque value. Okay. So here coefficient of friction 0.25. Bore radius of friction lining is equal to 25 mm. Bore radius means, so that is for the inside. Inside means R2 value. Assume uniform contact pressure. So you definitely should use your new pressure, new theory, new plus theory, that is for the uniform pressure theory. 2 by 3 R1 cube minus R2 cube divided by R1 square minus R2 square. So pressure is the value is the 1 megapascal. The value of outside radius. Outside means R1. Definitely you can find out without any struggling. Okay. So we know the torque. So from the torque we can substitute we know the torque value. We can substitute your formula load equal to pressure into area. So here uniform pressure theory, torque formula 2 by 3 mu W R1 cube. So just to understand the one thing, the formula is N 2 by 3 mu W R. N here I have assumed 1 because here there is no driven and a driver plate. Just I am assuming 1. Okay. From that relation, you can find out the R1 value. This is very direct question. Definitely you can get 2 marks. Okay. So next I'm going to discuss the last question for this my lecture. A clutch has outer and inner diameter. So R1, R2, assuming uniform pressure. So here assuming uniform pressure, you should use R mean radius as 2 by 3 R1 cube R2 cube minus R2 cube divided by R1 square minus R2 square. Coefficient of friction mu 0.4. The torque carrying capacity of the, this is very direct question. So for here we can easily solve the problem. So n the same I would assume n is equal to 1 because of there is no driver and driven. Okay. So we can solve the torque. Okay. So next so this is my end slide. So just I revise everything. So clutch is used to just I will share. I will definitely I will wind up within 5 minutes. Just I will go recall everything. Just we have discussed introduction. So first we have discussed introduction of clutch, and we have deeply discussed single plate, multi plate, and cone clutches. And I have solved 2 derivations using uniform pressure as well as uniform wear theory. And continuation, I have solved 5 more problems of single plate, multi plate, and cone clutches. So in every problem, so in only we have used 11 formulas only. If you understand all the technical concept, simply you can remember the 11 formula without markup. Okay. So next I have solved 3 problem in gate examination. So these type of problems only so frequently repeated in the gate examination 2008, 2011, 2016, and 2008. So both technical concepts as well as the gate aspirant. My lecture is very, I hope, very useful. Once again, I thank the coordinator, the wonderful, nice coordinator, Gurra sir and Venkatesh sir, who gave the great opportunity to share my knowledge to the students and my lovable my colleagues and faculty members. So once again, I thank you all. Thank you very much, sir.
Really very nice.
If you have any doubt, you can ask. Feel free. Definitely, I will share whatever I know. I don't hesitate. If you have any doubt, you can start. Definitely, I will answer everybody. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Definitely, I will share my knowledge with you. Just I have seen some of I am very happy. I means just you have understand the whole thing. I am very happy. Thank you, thank you. Just I have seen 3 or more eyes. Thank you. You are following my lecture. I'm very happy. If you have any question, you can comment. Definitely, I'm waiting for answer.
Hello, Guru sir.
one minute. Data book needed or not? Data book needed one type of problem. I mean, so whenever considering the load factor value K1, K2, K3, K4, you can use your data book. Okay, but that is a very rare question. It is for by means of experience only you can take it your load factor K1, K2, K3, K4. Definitely data book will be useful for solving all problems. Mention some difference between old clutch and a new clutch. Okay, so old clutches means I already explained the wear rate is directly proportional to the pressure. Okay, so if you have used the long term, definitely the wear will be occur. So old clutch plate, definitely you have to use the old theory. It will be suitable. N mu WR R1 plus R2/2. That is the old theory. But if you consider the pressure theory, is the new theory. Nothing explanation. Still now I have not seen any differences. There is the differences. Anything? Thank you, sir.
You can ask in the chat box.
Gate aspirants don't lose your marks in clutch part. Definitely, it will be very useful. If you have any doubt, you can ask.
Okay, participants, do you have any doubts? So if you have any doubts, please ask. So chat box or unmute your mic and ask. Anybody else? Any questions from design of website side?
If you have no doubt, we can wind up formally, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, sir. Formally, I conclude the meeting. So the if the participants having any doubt means you can ask through WhatsApp also. So on behalf of our management and our principal, vice principal, and head of the Department of Mechanical Engineering, I would like to thank the participants, those who are actively participated in this webinar. I hope the webinar is useful for the students and the faculty members also. Then I would like to thank our today's resource person, Mr. Prabhakaran. He clearly explained with some other videos and the detailed procedures of design procedure of clutch plates. Then I would like to thank our RIT Mechanical CAD Center team. Then last but not least, I thank again our participants for listening patiently in this session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, tomorrow we have two sessions. So design of shoe brake will handled by Ganesh sir from Velamal Engineering College, Chennai. And the afternoon session design of band brake will handled by Mr. J. Gerald Jan Brito from Ramco Institute of Technology.
Okay, thank you all participants for patient listening. Thank you. Thank you.
ముఖాలు కాలేజ్ కావాల్సి